Hello, welcome to Nerd Rant. My name is Junior Wolf, aka JJ. I said that backwards, but we're gonna roll with it. Seth's not here today, guys. We're gonna have extra fun today because Seth isn't around, and it's gonna be a blast. I have a different co-host because I don't want to be lonely talking to myself. So, who are you?
I'm Lexi, aka WisteriaWhiz, or JJ's girlfriend.
Woohoo! She's gonna be chatting with me today. So, for anybody who doesn't know, she is not as big of a nerd/gamer as me and Seth are. You know, we've been playing games and watching nerdy movies our entire lives, and she kind of did it a little bit as a kid. Here, I'll let you explain it. You go ahead and explain that. Let's give us a little bit of your backstory and like your gaming history.
I mean, I played a lot of Minecraft. I played a lot of Terraria. I loved Diablo. Honestly, I was a big dungeon crawler person. Of course, I've seen Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and things like that. But I feel like when you're a kid, you don't really think any further than cool thing happening. So I feel like as I've gotten older, I've started to care about that stuff more. So it's interesting that we're kind of delving back into it.
Mm-hmm. I've been trying to show her, since we've been together, a lot of the games that I either think are like important tentpoles in gaming itself, or just games that I myself have enjoyed personally. So like, she has played Undertale, she's played Portal, because I think those two especially are like really important just for gaming as a whole. And then I've had her play, or at least start, because I like bigger, longer games. She started like Jedi Fallen Order. She started, what are some other ones? I'm looking at my shelf right now. I've tried to introduce her to Borderlands. She started Assassin's Creed Odyssey. She started Stray. Basically, we've started a lot of games. The list of games that we've finished is a lot shorter, but we're getting there, and she's enjoyed most of what she's done. So,
I mean, to say that, we have to kind of explain what the problem is. I guess the problem is I've grown up on mostly really straightforward games like the Indiana Jones Lego game, things like that.
She's played a lot of the kids' games that I say we all, but like, I guess more so my generation has played as kids. So like she said, Lego Indiana Jones is a big one. I played that as a kid. I played Lego Star Wars. The things that kind of like, you don't have a lot of choice but to do the thing that it's making you do. And so because of that, her like sight reading isn't always the best. And so for these more open world games, she doesn't always know where to go. And I know that's not the point, because you can kind of go where you want to go, but then when it comes down to, okay, now I need to do a quest, she has no clue where to start.
Which has led to a lot of starting and not finishing.
Yeah. So, we're working on it. We're getting there.
We're getting there.
But, well, I don't know, what's been your favorite so far that we've started?
Okay, started and finished, or started and...
Just started, like, what the favorite experience?
Oh gosh. I think Jedi is cool. I want to finish Portal 2.
Mm-hmm.
I really am enjoying the mechanics and all the puzzles. I love puzzles.
Yeah.
I think Odyssey is super fun.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to try to figure out what buttons you're supposed to hit when, and to be totally honest, I forget you can parry, because a lot of the games I've played haven't had that type of mechanic.
Yeah, I wanted to wait to introduce her to Odyssey just because there is a lot there, and it does rely heavily on your knowledge of RPGs, and so I wanted to try and have her play something a little easier first, but then I kind of realized there's not a whole lot of easy RPGs out there. And so I figured it might just be better to walk her through the best I can Odyssey, because that's one that I know super well, and I would be able to explain it to her, and hopefully she'll pick it up along the way. And if she can get Odyssey, she can get any other RPG that we throw at her. So, yeah. Anyways, I should probably say what we're actually talking about this episode. This episode is literally going to be this. It's going to be like us kind of delving into, I guess, her perspective on games as a not, like, huge gamer person thing.
Little side note, the not gaming isn't because I haven't wanted to. It's because we only had one Xbox and my brothers were hogs.
Yeah, I remedied that as soon as we were together. We got her an Xbox, so problem solved. Yep, we have been playing. But as you know, I don't have a setup right now, which means neither does she. So we are sharing my one Xbox that is hooked up to the TV.
I think your reaction to the little tiny setup I had was like the funniest thing ever.
Yeah. Okay. If you guys are longtime listeners, you know I have had janky setups in my life, right? I have played on my lap in a camper bed with a computer fan tray, like that is my desk, with my mouse pad on a pillow to elevate my mouse a little bit. I've had some janky setups in my time. But when I tell you her setup was crazy messed up, she had this tiny little desk that looked like it was from the 80s. That you could barely fit your legs underneath.
5'2", I don't.
She had a tiny Roku TV as her monitor. A Roku TV. It didn't have high refresh rate. It had an insane delay time just because it was a TV. Because it wasn't meant for gaming. And she hooked up her Xbox to it just on the desk. Just plopped there. Just on the desk. Like nothing else. That was it. She had plugged the headphones into the controller, and that was the end of it. She had nothing else. She eventually got a keyboard, but it was like a $5 keyboard from the Goodwill.
No, the keyboard was from you.
No. Not that one.
Oh,
the one you had before that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it was Five Below I got it at, actually.
And where'd you get your computer chair? Was that like Walmart?
Yeah, it was a $60 computer chair, and what I tell you, putting it together was a whole lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
And it's an okay chair, but I wouldn't call it a great gaming chair. It was, well, and you're literally sitting in it right now. I completely forgot that we have it out here. It's a chair.
After sitting in your chair, I realized what I was missing out on.
Yeah. And my chair sucks. My chair was cheap. My chair was $80. My chair was $80. It's now, well, it's torn up mostly because of our cats. We have 2 cats, and they like to sharpen their claws on the leather seats. So
they're helping.
It's a little torn up right now. But my chair was the definition of cheap gaming chair. Like, it's the one that everybody goes for when you need something cheap. So
I felt like I was sitting on a throne the first time I sat in your
It's much more
chair.
comfortable than a simple office chair. My thing was the headrest and the footrest were so amazing to have.
I kind of, total honesty, full disclosure, I thought you were kind of a crazy man for I need to have a footrest leaning back and playing, and then once you really got me into playing games and I sat down and started playing like Fortnite and Grist.
You're like, I need to put my feet up.
Like, I understand the way.
Mm-hmm. It all makes sense. It all comes together.
It's all coming together.
Sigh. But yeah. So her setup was not the greatest. We've made small upgrades over time. Like, she got an actual monitor. I don't know how. This monitor doesn't have an audio jack on it. So when we got her desk speakers, we can't plug it into the monitor. And obviously the Xbox doesn't have a jack on it either. So she has to, when she wants to use the desk speakers, plug the desk speakers into her controller, which is just special.
And the cord's broken too, so you have to like have it at a
Yeah, we need a new auxiliary cord, because it does the thing that, you know, all those old like earbuds did, where you have to hold the cord at a certain angle to actually hear the audio. That's what it's doing.
We're doing alright though.
We got our keyboard, we got our Xbox stand that has like the rechargeable controller batteries.
That has been the best thing ever.
Those are really nice. I have one. I think I probably should have gotten a better one, because my one it was cheap. It was $15-$20, but it's nice to have for the controllers themselves, because you just plug them right on there and they're fully charged the next time you go to grab them. And it's something that'll hold them there so that you're not like leaving them out in the open where they can get knocked off a desk or something. So it's really nice to have. I probably should have spent the extra $10 and got one that was not something you could find at Five Below. But yeah, the setup is rough, and the setup will be rough for a little while, but the gaming itself is happening. As you know, if you've listened to the recent few episodes, we learned our TV actually is kind of cracked and can do 120 FPS and 4K. So
only our internet could go as hard as the TV.
Yeah, the internet is the one thing that's holding us back right now. But anyways, we were talking about games. Yeah. What did you say was your favorite one? Did you get to that? You said Portal 2. You said you really wanted to finish Portal 2.
I really have liked Portal 2. And then besides Portal 2, I'd say Jedi.
Mm-hmm. They're both really fun. They both have a learning curve, though. I think Portal is a really good one to start with always because it's a puzzle game, right? So there's not like a surplus of mechanics. It's usually just, here's one mechanic. We're going to play with that in as many ways as possible, and you get to figure that out.
Yeah. See, I think Portal is pretty easy for me. The only thing that's kind of rough is, like in the second one, how it's a little more open worldy. And I'm just, most of the time I'm like, la-di-da, I don't know where I'm going.
It's not open world, it's linear.
I don't like
That's what we call a linear game.
it. I just don't know where I'm going half the time. The puzzles are easy.
That's where the sight reading comes in. Is a lot of games. How do I explain this? Because most of our audience is going to be people who play games and probably just take this for granted. But I had to learn how to notice this because obviously since I've been playing games since I was 5 years old, I knew this. This is an instinct for me to recognize where there's a path and where something wants me to go. But I had to learn to
it's muscle
actually point out what those signs are to myself so that I could then point them out to you. It's things like lanterns or torches lighting a path, the path itself on the ground, different textures on different elements showing that, okay, this is a higher resolution texture, which means this is a thing that I should be following. Yeah. Things like, are there enemies on this path? That means it's somewhere I'm meant to tread on because they put those enemies there for a reason, things like that. It's interesting to have to unlearn something so that I can teach it.
I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit frustrating that it's such a hard thing for me to notice. And I feel like I'm getting better at it, and it's all thanks to you. I guess besides that, one struggle I want to point out is that I am not very quick with reaction times.
Yeah, no gamer really is. I mean, it's rough with a lot of reaction times. Especially when it comes to parrying in video games, parrying can be tough.
Yeah.
I think Odyssey, you got it really easy, but as soon as you get to a game that's... What's a good example? I've been playing Expedition 33 recently. They have dodging in that game, and they have parrying. Dodging is very easy to do if you're feeling the rhythm of the fight. You just watch for when the swing would actually make contact, and you dodge. Perfect. You don't take damage, that's great. They also have a parry mechanic. I have not been able to parry a single time in that game because it makes no sense to me. I press the button when the weapon would make contact, but somehow it hits me. And because I didn't go for dodge, I tried to go for parry, I'm then taking damage and not dealing any damage back. So, I don't know. It's difficult, but...
Does that one have a set, how do I phrase this? Is it randomized, what the person's gonna do in the game?
Not necessarily. So, a lot of games, I guess this is something I have never explained to you before, a lot of games go by like animations. So every attack has a very specific animation. And if you learn that animation, you can learn exactly when that attack will make contact with you in that animation length. That's how people play games like Dark Souls and stuff. They learn the animations. They learn, like, okay, if I see him do this with his arm, then I know he's gearing up to do this attack, which means I need to dodge 2 times and then roll.
Okay, so it's kind of like in the horror movies, whenever you hear the creepy music start and you're like, yeah, some guy is totally gonna jump out and...
Yeah, basically like that. Like that's kind of a big thing for games, and especially if you're trying to do things with timing, like dodging or parrying, you have to learn to recognize things. That's why a lot of games like the Assassin's Creed ones will put like a little glint on the weapon when they like pull it back, because that's like your warning, like, hey, this attack can be parried. So you parry when you see that glint, and it does it for you. You don't have to rely on the animation. And then they introduce the colors as well. So, like, the red glint means you have to dodge. You can't parry. The white glint means you can parry or dodge.
I think you kind of just gave me a little light bulb moment about where I was going wrong in fighting in Odyssey.
You have to pay very close attention to the enemy you're fighting. You can't just be focused on pressing the buttons.
That's really interesting. I wouldn't have thought to look for something so subtle.
Some games mention it in their tutorials, some don't. It's another one of those situations where it's like certain games are not meant for first-time gamers. Like, if you were introducing your friend to video games, you're not going to throw them into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You're not going to throw them into Borderlands 3. You know, you're going to pick a simpler game. Like Portal 1, that's a great starting game. Undertale, great starting game. You know, things that are more like one track. Like you play the game this way, it explains it all to you, and there's not much room for like gray areas.
Does Undertale really count as a like one track game with the different ways you can play it?
I'd say so, because it itself, it does not intend for you to play it pacifist the first time. That's just what we did. Technically, it intends you to play it the neutral route, and then it hints at, okay, well, what if you go back and don't kill anything? And then if you do that, it's like, okay, well, what if you did kill everything? So
and you have to deal with sands and the bullet hell. Nobody wants to do that.
It's just kind of like they built it so that it hints at each pathway after you complete one. So it's just like, because you had me there to say, okay, we're going to do pacifist first time through, that was kind of canceled out.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. When it comes to multiplayer games, what's been like, how do I phrase this? What's been the thing that you've like had the hardest time learning in multiplayer? So like Fortnite or heck, Halo, like shooters, things you're fighting other players.
I'd say probably whenever we were playing Halo and it was not campaign stuff, it was more like the little the little side games. I feel like I just don't understand quick enough like what's happening, what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to be, how I'm supposed to do it. That's why I've really liked us playing Fortnite together, because it's pretty straightforward, minus the occasional what category does this gun fall into, because some of them aren't clear to me, at least.
That's why I liked old Fortnite better, because it was like you have your AR, you have your heavy AR, you have your shotgun, you have your tactical shotgun. It's like very like cut and dry, like these are the guns, and you will very quickly learn, okay, heavy means this and tactical means this. You know, it made a lot more sense that way. And now that they have new names and new skins for every gun each season, it just makes things more confusing, because then, okay, one thing named tactical this season could mean this, while tactical next season could mean something completely different.
Or it can be the exact same name for a gun, like type of gun, but it acts totally different. I'm really glad you got me started on Fortnite when you did, because I feel like if I started now, I would be like, nope, not happening.
Yeah, it'd be a lot more confusing.
Yeah.
When did you start? Tell the podcast.
When did I start? Like 2.5 years ago? I started actually playing.
Do you remember what chapter it was?
The one with Mega City, was it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
That was chapter 4.
I really liked Mega POI.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was pretty and honestly kind of awesome. It seemed a lot more straightforward, and then, what was it, the next season or the next chapter, things got a little more crazy. Is that where you could start modding?
Mm. Yeah, the augments and the mods. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it's sad that you didn't really get to experience Fortnite when it had a story, because being able to hop on and dig for lore and like the events actually holding weight and things carrying over season to season, because it was like waiting for the next episode of a show. Like when you watch one episode and you have to wait an entire week for the next episode to come out. That's what it was for Fortnite seasons. It's like one season's out, you do all your quests, you learn all the lore, and then you have to wait for the next season to get your next bit of lore. It was really fun, and it built up a lot more suspense and made things a lot more entertaining.
It makes me sad that I missed it too, because that's been one of my favorite parts. I guess this is a little kind of side trail of us going over FNAF and things like that. I love the lore. I love the theorizing. So it makes me sad that I missed out on that opportunity with Fortnite, because it's kind of fun to have the whole, well, this happened, so this must mean this, or this connects to this. Mm-hmm. I wish we had gotten to do that.
Yeah. No, that's basically what me and Seth did, is back in like chapter 2 and 3, we would be like, oh my gosh, so this and this on this map and this quest, what this person said means that this is leading to this, the last reality, the 7, blah, 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 all these threads and stuff that all somehow connected. It was a lot of fun being able to hop on and do that. But now with the way Fortnite is, it's just, there's not lore. Like, yes, we have Kendo and we have Daigo and all these guys, but they're really not holding any weight. Like, they're not going to carry over. Yes, it may lead to a new skin in the shop because we have Mask Maker Daigo now, but nobody cares. Like, it's just a shop skin. What happened to when we had the 7 and he was revealed to be freaking Dwayne Johnson? Like, everybody saw that coming, but nobody saw that coming. So, like, when it actually happened, it was crazy. It broke the internet. Like, people were like, oh my gosh, he's playing a character in Fortnite. I think even he was excited about it. He had his helmet in his fridge promoting his energy drink. Like, it was crazy. And then it just stopped. Like, we didn't get any of that. It was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, from everything you've told me about the lore before and how, like, calculated it was, it makes me feel like now, the further they get along, they're just putting a bunch of dartboards in a room that have a bunch of words on them, putting a blindfold on someone, spinning them around and telling them to throw darts at the board and string those words together and, story! Pretty much.
Yeah. No, we miss Donald Mustard and his amazing stories, but he's off with, what are the names? The Gregory brothers? No. Not Gregory. What is it? The directors. I forget their names. Is it? They were directors. But it wasn't Gregory. Right? I forget. He's off with them, helping them do creative movie stuff. They're the guys who directed, like, Endgame and Infinity War. So they're big guys. So the fact that he's along with them was really cool. But we definitely wish we could have had him for these Fortnite seasons, because things have gone to crap since he left. Yeah, I know. About that.
I was trying to see if Google would come to the rescue.
Sorry, mic cut out. We're good. Yeah. No, this is... We miss him. We wish he was here, but alas, he is not. Okay, I'm trying to think. Of more questions. I don't prepare questions beforehand because I feel like it's not as fun that way.
We are so organized, guys.
Yeah, because this podcast is always organized. That's totally the term I would use for all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this? we talked a bunch about games. Let's move into movies a little bit.
Okay.
So, tell the audience what movies you grew up on.
Okay. As his family is very concerned about this, I've mostly grown up on, like, gangster movies, mobster movies, stuff about serial killers, oh gosh. But I also grew up on some family-friendly things, like I watched Barbie,
That's not family friendly. That's make your daughter pink.
Fast and Furious, I grew up on those movies. They are a family! That's
not a family movie.
Hey, they say that they're a family.
Yeah, they can be a family without it being a family movie. You can have a family of murderers. That doesn't make it a family movie.
I mean, if they're working together.
Bruh.
Gosh. Shrek?
She's really scraping the bottom of the barrel here, guys. Listen,
Little Mermaid?
I had to show her practically every DreamWorks movie that came out. She hadn't seen How to Train Your Dragon. She hadn't seen Home. She hadn't seen Goonies. She hadn't seen Detective Pikachu. Like, all of these wholesome family movies. Night at the Museum, we just watched that tonight. Like, all of these ones she had never seen before. I'm like, how have you never, like, experienced childhood? Like,
I mean, I did experience childhood.
it was the wrong kind. You had the wrong kind.
Hey, I got to show you some really good movies, though, like The Silence of the Lambs.
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna show you Armageddon later.
Don't know what that is, but cool.
I got to see a bunch of older movies, like The Fifth Element. I've seen that thousands of times. It's one I have to show
My
you.
mom really liked that movie. I think she tried to get me to watch it once, but I just kind of like passed on it. And then you were like, okay, let's watch it. And I was like, okay.
So pretty much he's showing me childhood movies and I'm showing him grown-up movies. Like, I had to show him 50 First Dates and... what else did I show you? Snow White and the Huntsman?
Mr. Right.
Oh, Mr. Right's a good one.
Suicide Squad. You showed me Suicide Squad.
I love Suicide Squad.
Which I feel like I probably would have gotten to eventually just because of this podcast and the fact that we have to talk about DC at some point. So
I can help with that. I mostly grew up on DC.
yeah, that's wrong. I'm sorry. That's wrong.
There it is, guys.
Offensive.
There it is, guys. It's okay that I grew up on mobster movies, but DC, he draws the line.
Dude, I'm sorry. I don't care who you are, but freaking the Snyderverse was garbage.
I mean,
No, I'm not talking about Snyder's cut of Justice League. That wasn't bad, but the Snyderverse, you know, all of these single solo movies and then trying at their absolute best to come together for a team-up movie, it was trash. It was garbage. All of it was garbage. The casting was great. They had the best casting ever, but the movies were garbage. I'm really hoping James Gunn saves things here because, oh boy.
if this gives me points, I had seen movies like Iron Man too.
But we have to rewatch everything because you didn't retain it all.
I mean, I was a kid.
I was a kid too, and I lived by this stuff.
Look at who your parents are. Look at who mine are. I could recite
Your parents have no taste.
Scarface to you.
Oh dear lord. All right. Let's talk about the MCU then. Let's move into the MCU.
Oh gosh.
So you had seen, I know you'd said you'd seen like Infinity War and Endgame, obviously. You'd seen Iron Man, you'd seen a couple of movies here and there throughout the phase 1 through 3.
Yeah.
And you would watch WandaVision. I know that was one that you'd watched.
Oh, I watched that in one day. It was so good.
We binged it too. But yeah, so when I came around, we had to start over because she didn't know where most of these things placed. And so we kind of had to start over and just like from square one of the timeline, watch everything all the way through. We basically just got to the end of phase 3. We're skipping the things that she knows super well just because we have a lot to get through still. And we don't have a whole lot of time. So we've skipped Infinity War and Endgame because she knows how those go. We skipped a couple of the Iron Man movies.
I wouldn't let you skip Ant-Man because I like Ant-Man.
We didn't skip Ant-Man.
Or Doctor Strange. I really like
Or Doctor Strange. We skipped Incredible Hulk.
I still want to know why you skipped that one. I haven't seen that one yet.
I guess we have to go back and watch it now because of freaking Captain America Brave New World literally pulling all of the stuff from that movie.
Surprise.
Yeah, but yeah, we've gone all the way through. The next two movies we have to watch are Far From Home and No Way Home. So that's going to be exciting. I love those movies, so I'm excited to show those to you.
See, I'm nervous about watching those ones because I've really liked Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen all of the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, but I had never seen any of the Tom Holland ones. And I was mostly just kind of afraid to see how it was gonna go because I heard really mixed things about the Tom Holland ones.
See, that is what he is, though. He is a mix of the previous two. Like, he is... Tobey Maguire was a fantastic Peter Parker, and Andrew Garfield was a fantastic Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Tom Holland is an okay Peter Parker and an okay Spider-Man. So he's literally like, if you mix both, they dilute each other's greatness, but it evens out so that he's just an okay character.
How my brain took that was we went from meh to meh to meh.
No, it's not meh. It's oh my gosh, the cat's knocking down Legos. Okay, hold on. I'm stopping my cats. Cat, get down. Not my Legos.
Oh, she better take Dobby down.
Get down. Get down. Ah. Okay, we're safe. She knocked down a couple Legos, but we're okay. Intermission over. All right, cool. Where were we? MCU. To shows. That's going to be a whole because obviously we've watched Loki together.
I really liked Loki.
We had both seen WandaVision. I have seen all of the MCU shows up to this point, apart from Echo, I think was what it was called, because I wasn't really interested in that. But, we are going to have to slog through those. I'm excited for you to see Moon Knight because I really liked Moon Knight. But yeah, it's going to take us a little bit of time. Oh, we did also watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier in preparation for Brave New World. So
we kind of like plowed through that one. So I'm wondering how much of it was missed just because we plowed through it in rapid succession.
Hey, I try to get you to pay close attention, but somebody has a short attention span.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged. Yeah.
Who doesn't in this day and age, though?
What's your favorite MCU movie?
Movie?
Because we don't want WandaVision's your favorite show.
So say cute Jeopardy theme. Oh gosh. Either Ant-Man or Doctor Strange. Honestly.
Okay. Solid choices. I like Ant-Man probably more than Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is cool, but I don't know. I feel like he's not as... He's very... Let me say this. He supports a very specific niche for the MCU. So, like, if you are into the whole, like, actual, like, sorcery magic, you know, the book, the magical items, he's a really cool one. But if you're not into that, there's not much there for everyone else. Like, if you're into the techie stuff like Iron Man, or if you're into the superpower stuff like Spider-Man, there's just not much there for you with Doctor Strange. So he's a cool one, and he's definitely a linchpin in the whole, you know, phase 1 through 3, but he's just not that interesting in me. I liked Ant-Man because he was freaking funny.
He was freaking funny.
So that's about where I'm at with that, but
I mean, what character Paul Rudd plays isn't funny? It's kind of like, from what I've seen, a lot of his work, he plays the funny guy.
I wonder why. It's almost like he's funny.
Whoa.
He's a dad. I wonder if it's a dad thing, because it seems like a lot of the actors in the MCU are dads, and most of the funny ones are definitely dads.
Gotta make the kids like you somehow.
Anyways, so that's your favorite MCU movie. I would ask your show, but like I said, WandaVision is absolutely it. We bought this steelbook for WandaVision because that's just like the best show, like ever. A lot of people didn't like it, apparently. I've been talking to people at work and they were like, oh, that one was bad. And I'm like, what? I'm sorry? Yeah. Did you like actually finish the show? Because it turned out to be amazing. Sure, the ending kind of fell a little bit flat, fell a little bit rushed, but you know, it's just kind of how things go.
I mean,
it's the MCU show. Like, it's a movie stretched out into be a show.
That, and of course, it had an abrupt ending. It was all Wanda's magic.
Exactly.
It's not like you can really just fizzle that out.
You can't give endings to all of the characters that weren't there, you know?
Yeah. And backtracking a little bit, I thought of a kids' movie that I watched all the time. Coraline.
Coraline was very debatably a kid's movie. A lot of people
it was published as a kid's book.
A lot of people said it was meant for teens. Well, you. Yeah. Oh, we started her on the X-Men movies. She's seen the first 2 X-Men movies, and obviously she's seen the Deadpool movies. So
love Deadpool.
Yeah, we're working her through those. It's gonna be interesting. Because some of those movies were good, some of them were not.
I liked Logan. Logan was really good.
Logan was pretty good. We had to watch that in preparation for Deadpool 3, so that was a little bit outside of our timeline, but it is what it is. I'm trying to think of something, but all I want to do is jump into Star Wars and be like, hey, let's talk about Star Wars, because
there's gonna be no Harry Potter segue?
We can talk about Harry Potter, but I figured Star Wars because this is the only time I'm going to be allowed to talk about Star Wars because Seth's not here.
That's a segue into mentioning that I'm going to be your co-host for the next 2 weeks besides that? Yeah, do we
actually manage to make episodes for the next 2 weeks, but
I'll make sure we do.
Yeah, Seth is gone for 3 weeks. In case you missed like the little 5 seconds at the end of the last episode where he said he'd be gone for 3 weeks, he is gone for 3 weeks. So Lexi will be here for those 3 weeks filling in just so that you guys keep getting content. And
I'm sorry that my personality is not as big as Seth's ego.
No! I hope he doesn't listen to this. Oh my!
Love you, Seth.
She's not wrong. Anyways, Star Wars.
Love you much, Seth. Love you much.
That makes one of us. All right. Star Wars.
Be nice to your bestie.
So, what have you thought of Star Wars?
What haven't I thought of Star Wars?
So you had seen all the movies, right?
Yeah.
But you'd seen them all before as a kid, so obviously not a whole lot retained, as we've kind of established. But we started over, so I had her start with the prequels. I am a linear timeline guy. I don't like release order stuff like that. That doesn't make sense to me. Watch from the start of the story to the end of the story, unless it's one that's specifically built for you to watch the prequel after you watch the original. Like, there's stuff you're not going to get in the prequel unless you've seen the original. Which, this is not built like that. This is built so that you start with the prequels, which is what we did. So we went back, we watched The Phantom Menace, then we watched Attack of the Clones. And I am actually having her watch the animated series, basically anything that's canon we are going through. So she has now been through all of the Clone Wars, which... Tell you what,
that was a journey.
That was a journey. It was a hassle. She watched the first couple seasons, and I could tell she was not very into it, despite what she said.
I was into it. It just, I like to have...
It's okay. Nobody was into the first couple seasons. God.
Let me say what I was going to say. I thought it was cool to see, some characters interacting with each other, but I also... I wouldn't say that they were my favorite seasons or were things that I really want to go back and be like, yes, I'm gonna watch specifically season 1, episode 5. Because it felt like nothing was really attached to any canon whatsoever, and that made it a little boring and a little what am I supposed to be getting out of this? And I like to have something to sink my teeth into.
That's why it's nice to divide it up into the arcs. Like, I've found so many amazing charts made by people on, like, Reddit and stuff that have, like, the arcs broken up by, like, okay, what characters star in these arcs? What arcs are connected to each other? What arcs connect to the main movies, you know? They mark all the ones that have Ahsoka, all the ones that have Maul, all the ones that are focused on the clones, you know, stuff like that. All the ones that are completely skippable because they have no, like, lasting effect on anything. Usually the ones with Jar Jar, cough, cough.
I love Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Controversial opinion, I know.
But, yeah, it was rough the first couple of seasons of Clone Wars, but once we actually started getting to the stuff that held story weight, you know, like seasons, I want to say like 4 or 5 and forward, that was the stuff that really started picking up and grabbing some attention, because that's when we get into like Ahsoka's deeper story, is when we get into, you know, Order 66 and the clones and stuff like that.
I see why you said it was something that was really important to watch, because I had never understood why all of a sudden everyone was just, all the clones were just like against the Jedi and things like that. It made no sense when we watched the movie. It was one of those, oh, I guess this is happening now.
Mm-hmm. It's like these people who have fought by the... Cats are on the counter again. These people who have fought by the Jedi for so long are just turning on them with no feelings whatsoever about it. They're just doing it just because they were told to. They're friends with the Jedi. Why would they do this? It explains a lot better. Okay, so they don't have a choice. There was something implanted in them that forces them to do this, whether or not they want to. We see Rex's tears when Order 66 happened. He did not want to do that to anybody.
I loved the emotional layers that it added. It's, instead of being like in a movie, it felt like it was callous, no mercy, just I've been planning to turn against you the whole time.
Yeah.
And actually seeing tears streaming down Rex's face and him, like, you could see the tension in his eyes, like he was trying to fight it. That added such a deeper level, and it made me think more about, I guess, just how they probably hated that the people they killed didn't realize that it wasn't of their own accord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it adds so much more to that element of the story, and I think that last season of Clone Wars is kind of what makes this era in Star Wars one of the most amazing eras there is, because there's just so much depth and story to be told there. Like right now, we're watching through the Bad Batch. I think we're about like 9 or 10 episodes into the first season.
11.
Yeah, sure. I have not seen the Bad Batch yet. I was waiting to watch it with her because we had started our like franchise watch through as season 3 of the Bad Batch was coming out, so I had like waited to watch it with you. So we're doing that together. We're experiencing that together. My sister's seeing it and she like glorifies it to the high heavens. She's like, oh, this is like the best Star Wars show ever. It's so adorable. And so we're watching that through.
See, a better name for Bad Batch might be clones accidentally become fathers for a couple seasons.
Seems like it, yeah. But after that, we're gonna jump into some more. I think we have... I think there's a couple more series to go. Oh yeah, we saw... Goodness me, I'm good at this. We saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters for its
my favorite
anniversary.
movie.
It's my favorite too. It's a lot of people's favorite. It is really, really good. But yeah, we saw it in theaters for, what was it, the 10th anniversary?
No,
not 10th.
I think it was the 20th.
That's
was it the 20th?
Too small. 20th.
Or 20th or 30th?
20th? 30th. Because it came out early 2000s.
Did it?
Yeah.
It might have been the 20th. I think it was the 20th.
20th? We'll go with 20th.
Yeah, I think it's the 20th. We're so good at this. We do our homework.
See, I'm great at the Star Wars lore trivia, not as much about the fun facts.
Yeah, it was the 20th.
Okay.
Because it came out in 05.
Yeah. So we saw it for that. I have the Cinemark popcorn bucket. It's awesome.
He does, in fact, have the popcorn bucket.
It's a very nice popcorn bucket.
It is a very nice popcorn bucket.
Would I be a popcorn bucket?
No.
Oh, okay.
You
Anyway.
would not be a very functional popcorn bucket.
I could too. Don't insult me.
Your mouth?
Possibly, you don't know. That's licking the counter.
So that's what you do when I go to sleep. You become a popcorn bucket.
Yep, that's my nighttime job is popcorn bucket.
Good job.
Yep, I do great. Anyways, so yeah, well, what are you looking forward to the most in Star Wars? Like, I know you already said your favorite Star Wars movie, so that's not a question I can ask. You haven't really seen a lot of what there is aside from the movies, so is there anything that like I've talked about or that you know of that you're really looking forward to finally being able to see?
Just talking about the movies?
No,
or
like show,
everything
like,
Star Wars?
Yeah, games even.
I want to see how the Jedi games connect to the lore. I want to find out more about where Ahsoka went after the end of Clone Wars, where Rex went. And I want to get into some of the books and find out more of the interworkings of the politics of everything. Because, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting to me how... I can words. Just how everything worked out and how their political systems were.
So in other words, you want to read the Padme books?
Yeah. I'm honestly just excited to see how the shows might add more clarity as to what actually happened in the various time jumps and how everything connects together a little bit. Because I'm noticing the more we watch the shows and the more you tell me when we go back and watch the movies, because we went back and watched all the prequels once, but we've seen, it's interesting what I'm catching now that I have a little more knowledge. Instead of being more of a idle watching, I guess this guy is just doing this thing now. There's a little bit more, this is happening because of a chip in their brains. You know what I mean? So it's interesting.
He's good. He's good.
It's very good.
Yes. All right. You wanted to talk about Harry Potter. Let's talk about Harry Potter.
I want to talk about Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Harry Potter? Harry Potter?
I'm a what?
I'm a what? So, Harry Potter.
Ask me a question.
Harry Potter. Give us your...
Hermione Granger. I have many thoughts. I absolutely love Harry Potter very much. I have thoughts on the casting of the show. I have thoughts, but we'll talk about that later. Prisoner of Azkaban's my favorite. I think the Time Turner is really awesome.
Doing great.
I know. I'm so meant for this.
Why is Prisoner of Azkaban your favorite?
I think the Time Turner is cool. I think it's really awesome to delve into the past and see what actually went down. And I like how... I like Sirius Black and Remus Lupin. I think it was interesting to hear about the Wolfsbane potion and how lycanthropy works in Harry Potter, because it kind of feels like every type of fantasy book has different rules for it. And I thought it was cool about the animagus and how you can... I don't know, how...
Are your words running away from you?
Yeah. I think it was cool to learn about the whole process and how you connect to your inner animal and...
That sounds so wrong. Connect to your inner animal. Sounds like a furry thing.
Only you would think that.
It's like, hey furry support club, are you connecting with your inner animal enough?
And I believe that's the first mention of the Patronus, which is a whole nother...
Whole other thing.
Yeah, it's a whole nother thing.
A whole nother test you can take on. Lizzie,
Pottermore.
stop Pottermore anymore. Pottermore for you. Don't.
Let me live in my fantasies, okay?
No. This is not your fantasy. This is the wizarding world.
I don't care. It's always going to be Pottermore to me.
My favorite Harry Potter movie is Fantastic Beasts. I know it's technically not Harry Potter, but...
I mean, I'd say it counts. He Newt literally wrote the books that help.
It's just my favorite. I love Newt Scamander. He's awesome. And, you know, the magical beasts didn't get a whole lot of spotlight in the Harry Potter movies, so I think it's really cool to be able to see all the different variation in the creatures and stuff and all of what they do. And it's really cool to have a little bit more backstory and history on Dumbledore and what happened with, what's his face? The dark wizard that he fought. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm drawing a huge blank on the evil guy from that movie. We'll just go with that. Yeah, that was really cool to see. I like that movie. The trilogy kind of went downhill from there, though. The second one was okay. The third one was terrible. It's unfortunate, but that's how things go. So it is what it is. I did play the Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy, not Hogwarts Mystery. That's the mobile game. Hogwarts Legacy. Fantastic game. Loved it. Kind of wish it was a little more like open worlds in the sense that you could walk places, because in that game, if you...
Grindelwald,
yeah. Good job. If you're not walking on a path, it was pretty much impossible to get anywhere. It's kind of annoying, but I really liked that game. It was fun. Combat was cool. Story was okay. But it was really cool to be able to walk around Hogwarts and, you know, find all the little magical elements to it all. I'm going to show Lexi that game eventually. I just want to get us through some of the ones that we already started first, because that is a big game and it very much leans into the environmental hints. And so until she can learn and be fluent in that, I don't know if it's a good idea to put her into Hogwarts Legacy, but
I'm excited for that one, though. I really am. I'm just worried that digging back into that is going to lean me back into my obsessive Harry Potter phase. Because
there's not much to be obsessed about.
There's so much to be obsessed about.
And though, like, recently, I mean, like, they really have not done much with that franchise. Like, they could have been doing so much more. After the huge success of the first Fantastic Beasts movie, they easily could have branched out and done, like, put a bunch more movies into production. Like, you know, movies behind the people who made the other textbooks even. Like, if they wanted to go down that route, they could have done, like, a Quidditch movie, you know, like stuff about that. Like, they could have expanded the wizarding world so much more, but they haven't. They decided to go with a remake of the movies that everybody said were borderline perfect anyway, for some stupid reason.
Honestly, she was probably just trying to work with what she knew worked.
J.K. Rowling, me?
Yeah, I can see if she could save some face and get back into the good graces, because even though any publicity is good publicity in that type of sense, because love her or hate her, we're here talking about her. But she was probably trying to save a little bit of face, get the nostalgia factor, so that she's got people back in her corner for releasing new things.
Yeah, because I imagine, you know, people were saying to even go as far as to boycott Universal Park because of the things that she said, it's kind of makes sense, because she does get a cut of every ticket sold, I'm pretty sure, because of the fact that Harry Potter World is, like, part of Universal. It's one of the main draws. So it was, the boycott itself made sense, but I don't think it was a good choice, just because, you know, if you don't want to support her, don't support her.
It's a big situation.
Don't fight against all of the other people that also, you know, make money off of Universal Park. Like, I'm sure Universal Corporation doesn't need the help, but there's a lot of people there who have jobs and stuff. You have to consider what you're doing to them if you boycott.
It's a situation where you need to separate the art from the artist.
Exactly.
Because just because she thinks some interesting things doesn't take away from the magic of Ollivanders or, the first laugh you get with him going diagonally instead of to diagonally.
Exactly.
It doesn't take away from the magic.
Yeah. The art itself is what you should be in love with. You don't have to love its creator. You can ignore its creator entirely. Like, you can pretend she doesn't exist. You can pretend she's a frog for all I care. But Harry Potter is an amazing, piece of art.
It is.
Itself. Like, the books, the movies, all of it. Everything that came of it was awesome. And so don't try and pretend it's not awesome just because her views are different,
And it doesn't, all the emotions you might feel towards her doesn't take away from, the heart drop with what happens with Sirius, or the moment where Narcissa lied to save Harry. It doesn't take away those beautiful moments.
Yep. Anyways, we got 5 minutes left. We're about wrapping up, so I want to ask you 2 more questions, and I want some not too quick, but quick enough answers. What is one the game that you're looking forward to playing most?
Of ones we've talked about?
Yeah.
I know you said quick, but bear with me here.
Do the Jeopardy. Do. Is it that hard? Yeah. Thinking intensifies?
I mean, I'm curious to play all of the games, honestly. I want to play more of Stray because cat.
Okay, we'll take that. Finishing Stray.
And I kind of want to play Deltarune as well, just to expand my knowledge of Undertale.
We'll get there. Alright, and give me one movie that has yet to come out that you're excited to see.
One that's yet to come out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I know as soon as you realize what it is that I know what it is. That made no sense.
Was the Elio movie and the one with the what was the name of that movie?
You're still out there. No, the one that you absolutely flip out about every time the trailer comes on.
Wicked Part 2.
There it is. Wicked for Good. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be so messed up. The musical always makes me cry.
Literally, we go to the movie theater a lot. That's one of our popular date spots. And so, anytime that trailer comes on for Wicked, she literally oh my gosh, we have to go see this when it comes out. And we've already made plans to go see it, so it's not it's something that we still have to plan for. But she says it every time.
I'm excited.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna be my thing. I'm really excited to share with you because I've got to bring you into the realm of musicals.
This is very true. Hamilton, forever ingrained into my brain.
Heck yeah, it's working.
Sausages.
Pickles and cheese sauce.
Anyways, thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure you follow the podcast. Make sure you like the podcast. I don't know what platform you're listening on, but do whatever button they have for you to make sure you don't miss any episodes. Make sure you follow our social medias, the Instagram and the X/Twitter, and I guess there technically is a Facebook now, at Nerdrant Podcast. Absolutely crazy. I feel like there was one more thing. Oh yeah, the Discord. Join the Discord so you can chit-chat with us. Lexi is in there, so if you have any more questions for her, I'm sure she'd be happy to answer them for her co-hosting obligations.
Just at me, any of my random ats. I don't know how many roles you guys have given me.
Yeah, at all of them, every single one in a single message.
If I don't answer,
You're
do it again.
probably the only person who listened this far. At every single one, let's go.
Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Awkward person, but I'm trying.
Absolutely, we're signing off and we'll see you next week.
Bye!